Game Invasion, I Have a God-Tier Dual Talent, Part 1. Longxia Empire, Jiangnan Province, Tianhe City. On the wide playground of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School, rows of students in neat uniforms stood under the scorching sun. On the stage, the bald principal adjusted the microphone and began speaking with exaggerated enthusiasm. Students, I'll just say a few words, this. Behind him, more than 10 glowing magic arrays flickered with dazzling radiance, arranged neatly like gates of destiny. Below the stage, this year's graduating seniors whispered nervously to one another. I'm so nervous. The awakening ceremony is about to start, but I don't feel ready at all. Same here. If I awaken something like farmer, gardener, or tailor, my dad will definitely break my legs when I get home. Farmers aren't useless, you know. I heard there was once a farmer who made it onto the rookie rankings. They say he could one-shot elite monsters with just a hoe. Don't kid yourself. That guy's family is on the Empire's rich list. They poured mountains of resources into him. Do you think your dad could do the same if you awaken a farmer class? If it were me, I'd probably just go back and honestly work the fields. I'm so jealous of geniuses who awaken early. My neighbor's kid awakened just last week, even though he's only in his first year. And it was a rare profession, Thunder Mage. He got scouted directly by Huaqing Academy in Baidu. Please, just let me awaken a combat class. I don't need it to be rare, just a warrior or mage will do. Even average talent is fine, God, I'm begging you. I'd be happy with priest or healer. Anything's fine, as long as it's not summoner. Right. Summoner is trash. Didn't you hear? The grandson of the Empire's richest man is a summoner. He's been stuck at level 29 for years and can't even clear the level 30 dungeon. Useless, even with billions poured into him. They say summoners are technically combat classes, but in reality, they're worse than life professions. At least life professions can find other work. Summoner? Nothing but a money pit. Stop talking. You're making me even more nervous, my legs are shaking. I think I need to pee. Amidst all this anxiety, Chen Gu stood calmly, as though none of this had anything to do with him. It had been 18 years since he crossed into this world. To him, this so-called career awakening was no different from choosing a university major in his previous life. The only difference was that this time, you couldn't even choose. It all depended on luck. Having lived through countless grueling exams in his past life, Chen Gu had long since tempered his heart. At this moment, he was calm enough to want to munch on sunflower seeds while waiting for the bald principal to finish his endless speech. A faint look of regret crossed his face. TCH, should have bought melon seeds from the corner snack shop last night. They say the shopkeeper is a professional, snack immortal. Chen Gu already had a thorough understanding of this game-invaded world. Professions fell into 3 broad categories: combat, support, and life. At 18, right at high school graduation, everyone could undergo an awakening. A lucky few geniuses awakened earlier on their own, but Chen Gu, despite being a transmigrator, wasn't one of them. He hadn't even gotten the legendary cheat system every transmigrator was supposed to have. All he could do was wait patiently like everyone else. As for the much-maligned summoner class, Chen Gu, being a top student who had dominated every written exam in Tianhe No. 1, naturally knew the truth. Summoner was indeed hopeless, easily 100 times worse than the most dreaded, biochemical environmental engineering degree in his past life. But he wasn't worried. There were thousands of possible professions. The odds of hitting summoner were lower than winning the lottery. Meanwhile, the bald principal on stage was still droning on, about the school's glorious founding, about his own hard work and dedication. It was obvious he wasn't going to finish anytime soon. Chen Gu simply closed his eyes and started dozing off. 2.5 hours later. Then, I'll just keep it short here, Now I declare, this year's Tianhe No. 1 Middle School Career Awakening Ceremony officially begins. Principal Su Weiman finally put down the microphone with reluctance. A nearby teacher quickly stepped up. Thank you, Principal Su, for your wonderful speech. Next, I will begin the roll call. Students, please step into the awakening formations one by one. The first batch of names was read out. Nervous students walked into the glowing arrays, light flaring around them as totems rose over their heads. Warrior. I awakened warrior. Ha ha ha. And my talent is critical strike. No way. I'm a tailor. Talent, clothes making. I wanted combat, not this. I'm a healer, with medicine enhancement. Not bad. At least it's support, not life. Ha ha. Puppeteer. At least it's not summoner. Cheers and groans filled the air. Those with combat classes beamed with joy, while those with life classes looked like their futures had been ruined. Batch after batch stepped up, awakened, and stepped back down. Finally, it was Chen Ji's class. Wang Bo, Yang Jinyue, Chen Gu, Li Yun. Hearing his name, Chen Gu calmly walked out toward the formation. Just then, he felt a sharp gaze on him. He turned and saw Yang Jinyue, the class beauty, staring at him with barely disguised provocation. Chen Gu knew her well, second place in every exam, always chasing after him, never once surpassing him. In Tianhe number 1, everyone knew first place was always Chen Gu, and second place always Yang Jinyue. And today, her expression said it all, she was determined to outshine him in professional awakening. Chen Gu didn't even care. He wasn't interested in such childish competitions. But seeing him dismiss her so casually only made Yang Jinyue grit her teeth in fury. Chen Gu. Don't be so smug. I definitely won't lose to you today. Hearing Yang Jinyue's harsh words, Chen Gu waved his hand nonchalantly in response. After all, Chen Gu had heard these kind of fierce and harsh words so many times that he was completely immune to them. As Chen Gu and his group entered the professional awakening formation, the dazzling energy light once again surged above the magic circle. At the same time, on the podium, Tianhe number 1 Middle School's principal Su Weiman and several other school leaders also became more energetic. It's Chen Gu and Yang Jinyue's turn. These two students have consistently ranked in the top 2 in every exam since they entered school. I wonder what professions they can awaken. Although academic performance doesn't determine career awakening, excellent academic performance also means strong learning ability and strong mental strength. The awakened career also has a higher chance of being a rare career, or even a unique legendary career. That Yang Jinyue is from the Yang family. If I remember correctly, in recent years, all the children of the Yang family who have awakened are combat professions, right? Yes, and the number of rare professions awakened in the Yang family in recent years is close to 30%. The bloodline of the Yang family is quite terrifying. But that student named Chen Gu, I heard he's an orphan. He doesn't have a strong bloodline background like Yang Jinyue. Compared to that student named Chen Gu, I'm more concerned about what profession Yang Jinyue can awaken. Just when the school leaders were discussing on the stage, on the playground, countless students' eyes turned to Yang Jinyue and Chen Gu. The reputation of the two top students is well known among the entire senior class of Tianhe number 1 Middle School, and even among the freshmen and sophomores. At this time, except for the senior class who were participating in this year's career awakening ceremony on the playground, students in the first and second year of high school also gathered at the edge of the playground to watch. Look, look. That boy is Chen Gu, the most handsome one in the middle. Yang Jinyue is so beautiful. Not only are they good-looking, but their academic performance is also superb. I'm so envious. TSK. What's the point of being handsome? What's the point of being a good student? It still depends on the profession awakening. If Chen Gu awakens a rubbish profession, how can he still pretend to be cool every day? I think you're just jealous of my go-go. Don't you know that those with good academic performance have a higher chance of awakening rare professions? That's right, you little sourpuss, get out of the way and stop blocking me from looking at my go-go. Shoo. Stop making noise, the occupation totems are out. Look at what occupation totem is on Gogo's head. Yeah. The totem on Yeye's head looks like a mage. In the profession awakening magic circle, the moment the shadow of Chen Ji's occupation totem appeared above his head, his personal data panel also appeared. The moment I saw the data panel, Chen Gu is not feeling well. What the hell? A Tianking class summoner. I'm so F***king. Name, Chen Gu. Level, 0, 0%. Occupation, Summoner. Health, 90. Energy, 170, magic points for magic, internal strength and energy for martial arts, spiritual energy and mana for cultivation, all unified into energy points. Physical fitness, 9, physical strength. Spirit, 17, spiritual power. Attack, 10, defense, 7. Critical hit, lifesteal, retaliation, abnormal status hits, resistance, elemental amplification, immunity, omitted for now. Talent, awakening. Skill, empty. Equipment, empty. Summon space, 0/1. Storage space. Before Chengu was completely desperate. Next second. Talent, skills and awakening have also appeared. Talent, infinite summoning, unique. The despair on Chen Ji's face instantly turned into ecstasy. The only level of talent skill. Holy shit. I feel like my summoner class can still be salvaged. Quickly check the talent skill details. Infinite summoning, unique, summoning skills have no consumption, no cooldown, and no upper limit on the number of summons. The detailed introduction of just a few words instantly made Chengu feel like he had returned to heaven from hell. Why is summoner a pit profession? As a top student, Chengu is very clear about the professional shortcomings of the summoner. That's because the summoner needs to consume materials from corresponding monsters and demons to release summoning skills. Moreover, the skill has a long cooldown time, casting is extremely slow, and the upper limit on the number of summons is small. Improving skill proficiency and upgrading skills require the use of skills, which consumes a lot of material resources and time. The summoner himself is very fragile. In addition, the summoned creature inherits some of the summoner's own attributes, which leads to the low attribute level of the summoned creature. All these flaws combined together have led to the summoner being a pit-like profession that cannot be saved even by spending money. But the infinite summoning talent directly and perfectly solves the three core defects of bottomless resource consumption, too long skill cooldown time, and too few summoned creatures. The summoner is about to take off in my hands. If the attributes of a single summon aren't good enough, then I'll just keep spawning unlimited troops. Using a large number of troops will also give summoners a place among combat professions. Chengu is imagining that in the future he will make a name for himself as a summoner with the talent, infinite summoning. Suddenly, the personal attribute panel flashed. Chengu discovered that a new talent skill appeared out of nowhere in his talent column. Talent, infinite summoning, unique, soul destination, unique. Holy crap. Dual talents. And dual unique first-level talents. What's going on? Doesn't the textbook say that every professional will only awaken one talent when they awaken? Holy shit. Is it because I'm a time traveler? Can a soul that travels through time and space also awaken a talent? Chengu didn't have time to think about it, and quickly clicked on the second talent to check it out. Soul destination, unique, a special soul trait. The summoner becomes the soul destination of the summoned creature. After each summoned creature dies, the soul returns to the summoner, allowing the summoner to gain rewards, including attributes, skills, talents, durability, length. It seems like some strange properties have been mixed in. But that's not important. The important thing is, this soul destination talent seems to have solved all the flaws of the summoner class, such as being fragile and having summoned creatures with low inherited attributes. No wonder my golden finger hasn't come in 18 years. So this is my golden finger. Ha ha ha. Chengu was so excited that his body began to tremble slightly. Calm down. Calm down. I need to calm down first. Chengu quickly adjusted his mindset and calmed himself down, not wanting to be overwhelmed by the supergod-level dual talents in front of him. Time. I don't need resources, equipment, or props now. Even the attributes brought by level upgrades are meaningless to me. The only thing I lack now is time. Let me give my super god-level dual talents time to work. Chengu realized that the only thing he lacked was time. Looking at my new personal attribute panel. Name, Chengu. Level, 0%. Occupation, Soul Summoner. Health, 90. Energy, 170. Constitution, 9. Spirit, 17. Attack, 10, Defense, 7. Talent, Infinite Summoning, Unique, Soul Destination, Unique. Skill, Empty. Equipment, Empty. Summoning Space, 0/infinity. Storage Space. The profession changed from Summoner to Soul Summoner. The upper limit of the number of summoned spaces also becomes an infinity symbol. The expression on Chen Ji's face has returned to calm. I should now be considered a unique legendary professional. The strange phenomena in heaven and earth caused by my awakening talent should be appearing soon, right? The so-called rare professions and unique legendary professions are actually named based on talent. When Chen Ji's mood was like a roller coaster, up and down. On the playground. Everyone also saw the summoner totem emerge above Chen Ji's head. The whole audience was in an uproar. Summoner. Gogo's awakened profession is actually a summoner. How could it be? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could my Gogo be the most useless summoner? This is fake. Absolutely fake. Oh my god. How is this possible? Chen Ji's awakened profession is actually the most useless profession, summoner. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. Is this the top student in the grade who has always been at the top of the class? He's awakened the Tianqing summoner profession. That's it. That's it. I'm laughing. Chen Ji's crazy fans, your Gugu is completely ruined. Ha 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 ha. On the podium in the playground, the faces of the school leaders of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School all looked a little grim at this moment. Summoner Totem, it seems that this student Chen Gu is completely useless. I really never expected, that a genius student who always gets full marks in theory classes would actually awaken the summoner profession. This is unprecedented in the entire Longxia Empire. Look over there at Yang Jinyue, it's a mage totem. And, a strange phenomenon. Something strange has appeared in her awakening magic circle. A strange talent has appeared. Yang Jinyue is at least a rare level mage. On the podium, no one paid attention to Chen Ji's awakening anymore. They all looked towards the awakening formation where Yang Jinyue was. When a profession awakens, a totem shadow of the corresponding profession will appear. Talent awakening, if it is a rare level or above, an anomaly will occur. The more exaggerated the vision is, the rarer and more powerful the corresponding talent is, and it may even be a legendary talent of the only level. At this moment, Yang Jinyue was in the career awakening formation. Colorful beams of light shot up into the sky, and in the blink of an eye, they broke through the range of the awakening formation. The colorful light enveloped Yang Jinyue completely. And these lights did not stop there, but continued to spreading towards the surroundings and towards the sky. The entire sky of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School has been dyed with colorful light. Under the sunlight, it shows endless splendor. On the podium, the bald Principal Su Weiman jumped up with a flushed face. A vision breaks through the awakening array. A vision of heaven and earth. This is a vision of heaven and earth. A unique legendary professional talent. Yang Jinyue is a unique legendary professional talent. Ha 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 ha. A legendary professional has appeared in Tianhe No. 1 Middle School. A legendary professional has appeared in Tianhe No. 1 Middle School. It was born under my leadership as the principal. Ha 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 ha. Su Weiman was so excited that he was incoherent. This is his achievement. At next year's graduation ceremony, his speech could be extended by thousands or even tens of thousands of words. By then, 2.5 hours probably wouldn't be enough. Of course, the high school sophomores watching in the playground have not yet realized this terrible thing. Su Weiman was not the only one excited. As well as other school leaders and all the students present. The colorful light continued to spread, covering everyone in the playground. The students felt the rays of light that seemed to have life wrapped around them, and they were all stunned and shocked. It's actually a strange phenomenon in heaven and earth. Yang Jinyue is too powerful. And it's the most powerful mage class in the combat class. Plus, it has a unique legendary talent. How terrifying will it be? Hiss. Our Tianhe No. 1 Middle School is going to be famous throughout the entire empire. This legendary class, a class that only a few people in the entire Longxia Empire see at the annual awakening ceremony, actually appeared in our school this year. Those schools on the professional school rankings, like Huaqing School, Imperial Capital School, and Fudan School. I guess they'll all come to Tianhe City this year to fight for a spot. Does anyone recognize Yang Jinyue's heavenly and earthly phenomena? Is it the only legendary talent recorded? It seems a little familiar to me, but I can't remember it for the moment. I remember. It's the elemental body talent. It's recorded in professional history textbooks. 100 years ago, at the beginning of the game Monster Invasion, a legendary professional appeared. It was this kind of heaven and earth phenomenon. Unfortunately, that powerful predecessor fell many years ago, so this elemental body talent was awakened by Yang Jinyue. I remember it now. The elemental god. Mastering all elements, as powerful as a god. That senior from 100 years ago was known as the elemental god. Yang Jinyue. The elemental god. Yang Jinyue. The elemental god. On the playground, countless people excitedly began to shout the slogan of Yang Jinyue, the god of elemental magic. The commotion caused by the strange phenomenon in the world at Tianhe No. 1 Middle School also alarmed the heads of several families in Tianhe City. Several figures flew through the air and appeared on the podium in the playground of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School. Everyone who came had an expression of surprise on their faces. This also includes Yang Jinyue's father, Yang Chonghu, the head of the Yang family in Tianhe City and also the mayor of Tianhe City. By the time I could clearly see that Yang Jinyue was in the center of the strange phenomenon in the sky and earth. Yang Chonghu's face suddenly broke into a smile. He smiled at the heads of the various families who had come with him. Everyone. Excuse me. Ha. This is my daughter. Ha. The candidate for the next head of our Yang family. Ha. I'm afraid your idea of recruiting this genius will be in vain. Ha. In just a few words, Yang Chonghu's laughter lasted several times longer than his speaking. The smile on his face couldn't be stopped. The expressions of the other family heads were as ugly as they could be. However, right at this moment, the phenomena in heaven and earth suddenly changed. The colorful light in the sky suddenly stopped, as if disturbed by something. Immediately afterwards, countless phantoms burst out from a professional awakening magic circle, covering the sky and the sun. A strange phenomenon in heaven and earth. Another strange phenomenon in heaven and earth. Who is it? The bald Principal Su Weiman's eyes widened instantly. He felt like his heart couldn't take it anymore. Two strange phenomena in heaven and earth. Two legendary professionals. Tianhe No. 1 Middle School is going to be a hit this year. As the principal, he felt dizzy. After calming himself down, Su Weiman, who was shaking with excitement, looked in the direction of the source of the phantoms of monsters and demons in the sky with an expression of disbelief. It's right next to the professional awakening magic circle next to Yang Jinyue. Chen Guo. After seeing the source of the phantoms of demons in the sky, Su Weiman was completely dumbfounded. His expression suddenly became very interesting. Would you say he was excited? That must be exciting. This is a strange phenomenon in heaven and earth, indicating the arrival of a legendary professional of the first rank. I was not seeing things. Those who have excellent grades in theoretical courses will definitely have good talents after awakening their profession. But yeah. Su Weiman remembered that Chen Ji's awakened profession was summoner. Tiankang professional summoner. The most useless professional summoner that even the richest family in Longxia Empire cannot save. It feels like you go to wash your feet, and the girl is big and strong, with more hair on her face than your beard, and her voice is more powerful than yours. Before you could even ask for a different batch, the little sister had already picked up your feet and started working on them. But you just happen to find that the little sister's skills are superb. What do you do in this situation? Su Weiman was feeling almost as uncomfortable as before at this moment. Neither excited nor sad. But the heads of the aristocratic families in Tianhe City who rushed over didn't know. They rushed to Tianhe No. 1 Middle School after discovering the strange phenomena in the world caused by Yang Jinyue's awakening of the elemental body talent, hoping to win over the talented professional. I didn't even see the professional totems that appeared in the awakened professions. At this moment, everyone was like a hungry wolf finding flesh and blood. My eyes are glowing green. With the guarantee of the strange phenomena of heaven and earth, even auxiliary professions and even life-related professions have great training value. Old Sue. Old Sue. What's going on with this classmate? Old Sue, don't just stand there. Introduce this handsome guy to us. Look at this incredible phenomenon. It's no worse than the one that happened to that girl from the Yang family. Old Sue. Please say something. This classmate isn't from some wealthy family, is he? My Zhang family has reserved this student. Everyone, please give me some face. My Zhang family will definitely reward you handsomely later. Old Zhang, you're being a bit shameless. That classmate might not even have the surname Zhang. What did your Zhang family reserve for? That's right. It still depends on that classmate's attitude. After his awakening ceremony is over, we will go together and fight for it based on our own abilities. We are all family heads. You can't be so naive, right? Do you think such a talented professional can be tied to one family? His future will definitely not be in our small Tianhe city. If you ask me, we should go together, without arguing or fighting, just to make a good relationship with this talented classmate. I think this young man has an extraordinary bearing. He's quite a good match for my Yaya. F***ck. Old Yang, you're not a human being. F***ck. Yang, you're really going too far. When the family heads on the stage chased Su Weiman to ask about Chen Ji's situation, all the students in the playground were also stunned. My scalp is tingling. A legendary summoner? What the hell is this? Strong or useless? What's going on? Does anyone know what's going on? Has Chen Gu also awakened a unique legendary talent? This strange phenomenon. Holy crap. I'm freaking out. He's just a summoner awakening a legendary talent. This is such a waste. It would be so nice to give me this legendary talent. Do you think Chen Ji's legendary talent could allow his summoner class to become a powerful combat class? How is that possible? The reason why a summoner is useless is multifaceted. No matter how powerful his legendary talent is, can it really make up for all his weaknesses? Chen Ji's crazy fans think they're all the best again. It's not like summoners haven't awakened legendary talents in the 100 years since the game was launched, and they're all useless. That's hilarious. A legendary summoner? Isn't he still a useless summoner? No one thinks a chocolate-flavored defense isn't a defense, right? No way. No way. Although Chen Gu also showed the strange phenomenon of breaking through the awakening magic circle. But the vast majority of voices in the playground were still sarcastic and mocking towards Chen Gu. The main reason is that Chen Gu usually has excellent academic performance and is handsome, but his family background is a little poor. However, he has always been the undisputed male god in the hearts of almost all girls in Tianhe No. 1 middle school. Naturally, there are many people who are unhappy with Chen Gu. Now that they saw Chen Gu awakening the most useless summoner profession, those who disliked Chen Gu immediately seized the opportunity to kick him when he was down. The heads of the families who presided over the show were all powerful professionals themselves. Naturally, you can hear the discussions in the playground. In addition, the bald principal Su Weiman had a dull and slightly bitter expression at the moment. It also gradually made the heads of each family realize something. Summoner? The student who caused the strange phenomenon in the world awakened the summoner profession. This. Old Su. This can't be possible, right? Several family heads asked Su Weiman in disbelief. Su Weiman could only nod bitterly, which was considered as his agreement. A moment. Deep disappointment flashed across the faces of several family heads. Summoner. Not to mention that it is a bottomless pit of resource consumption, the key point is that the rate of return after consuming resources is extremely low, and it has no combat effectiveness at all. Let the summoner join a complete combat team and there is no place for him as an auxiliary tool. Even if they were working part-time, summoners were not as professional as those professional life professionals. Then there is absolutely no value in investing. All the words that were used to win over Chen Gu just now disappeared at this moment, as if nothing had happened. They changed the subject one after another, and didn't even bother to ask Chen Ji's name. The true face of reality was revealed vividly by them. the strange phenomena in heaven and earth will not disappear so quickly. On the contrary, the powerful phenomena in heaven and earth last for a long time. Yang Jinyue's vision of heaven and earth was still reflecting the colorful light all over the sky, and each color represented a magical element. And among the strange visions of heaven and earth that appeared from Chen Gu, there were terrifying monsters and demons of various shapes. But it still keeps pouring out. In just 1 or 2 minutes, the shadow of the monster had formed a force that covered the sky and the sun. Even the scorching sun above the sky was obscured by layers of phantoms of monsters. Monsters of various shapes floated in the air, some bearing their fangs and claws, some roaring towards the sky, and some spewing terrifying flames and frost. The phantoms of the monsters seemed to come alive. Chen Ji's visions of heaven and earth look magnificent. This naturally shows that Chen Ji's talent is also extremely powerful. The bald principal sighed with regret. Chen Gu was one of his most promising students in this year's class. Now he has awakened a summoner profession. That's right. It's okay with the summoner, just treat it as a failure in the student's life. As the old principal, it's no problem for me to take care of him and find him a decent job to make a living. But he happened to have a vision. It is still the most top-level vision of heaven and earth. Moreover, it is a strange phenomenon of heaven and earth that covers such a wide range. It has already exceeded the coverage of Yang Jinyue's strange visions of heaven and earth. Even the coverage of Chen Ji's strange vision of heaven and earth is still expanding, with no intention of stopping, and it is about to cover the entire Tianhe city. It hurts. Su Weiman felt his heart was bleeding. If any other combat profession, even an auxiliary profession, were to encounter such a strange phenomenon of heaven and earth, this must be a peerless genius that only appears once in a century. After all, the history of game invasion is only a little over 100 years. If Chen Gu changed his profession to mage, warrior, puppeteer, gunman, priest, monk, ranger, he would definitely be ranked among the top 100 in the history of professionals. If it is a mage, warrior, monk, these relatively powerful professions, it is very likely that they will even be ranked in the top 10 in history. Unfortunately, he happens to be a summoner. Several of the few remaining strands of hair on Su Weiman's forehead fell out due to worry. Bald heads look sleeker. There are many people who share the same idea as Su Weiman, including Chen Ji's previous fans. But there are more people who want to kick Chen Gu when he is down and mock him. The more powerful Chen Ji's vision of heaven and earth becomes, the more useless Chen Gu is as a summoner. The more jealousy and hatred in their hearts are satisfied. Just then, the sky is full of dazzling colorful light. Suddenly, a phantom of a monster in the shape of a giant dragon appeared and roared silently towards the sky as if it was furious. He suddenly stretched out his giant claws and grabbed the void in front of him. No one expected that a large piece of the colorful light was torn off in an instant. This sudden scene. Countless people were immediately frightened and looked terrified. There was actually interference in the strange phenomena of heaven and earth. This has never happened in history. Although strange phenomena in heaven and earth rarely occur, they have happened to appear in the same place at the same time. In the records, the strange phenomena in the sky and earth on both sides did not interfere with each other, and each gradually subsided and dissipated. There will never be a situation like the one in front of us where one party can interfere with the other. On the playground, the students who saw this scene immediately exclaimed, "Ah! The heaven and earth phenomena are fighting." Broken. Yang Jinyue's vision of heaven and earth was torn apart by the demon dragon's phantom claw. Holy crap! Chen Ji's vision of heaven and earth tore apart Yang Jinyue's vision of heaven and earth. Can strange phenomena in the sky and earth attack others? Are there any top students who know this? Is there any knowledge about this in the textbook? No. I always get full marks in history class. I can tell you very clearly that such a situation has never occurred in history. It is impossible for the phenomena in heaven and earth to interfere with each other. Ah. But he happened. Look at that giant dragon. Doesn't it look like the picture of the boss dragon in the level 90 dungeon in the book? It seems so. I hadn't noticed it until you mentioned it. And it's not just this giant dragon. There are several other monster phantoms in Chen Ji's visions that look familiar. They seem to be in the monster manual. Look. Not only is the giant dragon attacking Yang Jinu's heaven and earth phenomenon, but also in that direction, several bear-like shadows have begun to attack. Over there. They're also attacking those humanoid monster phantoms. F***CK. Ate it. I seem to see a demonic shadow tearing off Yang Jinu's vision of heaven and earth and stuffing it into its mouth to eat. I saw it too. It really ate it. I even saw its mouth chewing. There was an uproar on the playground, and the conflict between the two strange phenomena in the sky became more and more intense. Actually, it's not quite right to say that there is a conflict. It was a completely one-sided destruction. The phantoms of demons and monsters in the sky began to violently tear apart all the colorful light around them and swallowed it. On the playground host platform, the school leaders and the heads of the noble families were all stunned. This unprecedented scene made their brains crash. Finally, Yang Chenghu was the first to react. The demonic shadows in the sky were attacking his daughter's vision of heaven and earth. Who knows whether this interference between the strange phenomena in heaven and earth will have any negative impact on his daughter's talent. Without thinking, he took out a long sword with an exaggerated shape and burning flames. As the Lord of Tianhe City, Yang Chenghu is also a level 51 professional. And he is a rare profession, the blood-burning warrior. He directly released his skills at the shadow of the dragon in the sky and slashed it fiercely with a knife. Flame-breaking sky slash. A blade burning with blazing flames slashed towards the sky. However, Yang Chenghu was so anxious about his daughter that he forgot that the strange phenomena in heaven and earth could not be disturbed by any attack. As expected, the flaming blade light penetrated through the strange phenomena in the sky, and after reaching the limit of the attack range, it dissipated in the air. Yang Chenghu's sword failed to cut through the phantoms of demons in the sky. But above the sky, countless phantoms of monsters seemed to have sensed the attack. The movement of the magic dragon's shadow tearing through the colorful light suddenly paused for a moment. The dragon's head drooped slightly, and its pair of huge lantern-like eyes stared at the ground with extreme sharpness. The eyes of the other demonic shadows all followed suit. This moment, Yang Chenghu was stared at by countless eyes and felt as if he had fallen into an icy cave. He felt the terrifying oppression and strong murderous intent coming from those eyes. He felt like a tiny ant provoking the devil, and the devil could crush him to death with ease. Those who shared the same feeling as Yang Chenghu included the heads of the aristocratic families around him and the leaders of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School. At this moment, everyone's heart was beating wildly, as if they felt death coming. How is this possible? How is this possible? Su Weimin was shaking violently and even stuttered when he spoke. The strange phenomena in the sky and earth actually interacted with reality. Did the phantom of the demonic dragon and those demonic phantoms sense the attack? Are they observing reality? This is impossible. The strange phenomenon in the sky and earth is clearly just a light and shadow phenomenon caused by the awakening of a powerful talent. How could they possibly have consciousness? This is unscientific. Su Weimin is the principal of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School, although his strength level is not as high as that of Yang Chenghu, the city lord. But his professional theoretical knowledge is definitely the most professional among all the people present. He was now filled with shock. He felt that his worldview of many years had been completely destroyed. The phantoms floating in the sky seemed to be real and alive. Su Weimin was absolutely certain that the near-death experience he just had was definitely not an illusion. They are warning. They are shocking. They really have autonomous consciousness. Fortunately, those phantoms did not launch a real attack, perhaps because they could not really interfere with reality. Su Weimin's shock stunned the heads of the noble families around him. Although they are not professional researchers. But as a professional, I still know a little about the strange phenomena of heaven and earth. After Su Weimin's reminder, they all reacted. But everyone's face was filled with disbelief. After all, it is really horrifying that the strange phenomena in heaven and earth have independent consciousness. Old Su, do you think it's possible? This strange phenomenon of heaven and earth itself has a scene where everyone is looking down. Right. It just happened to coincide with Lao Yang's attack skill. After all, summoner-level phenomena are rare, and we've never seen a scene like this before. Maybe it was just a coincidence. Right. I think it's a coincidence too. After all, Lao Yang's attack just now penetrated it, proving that this strange phenomenon in the sky and earth cannot interact with reality. The possibility of coincidence is greater. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? Unusual phenomena in the universe. I remember that a conclusion was reached decades ago. Experts in this field explain that phenomena in the universe are the light and shadow effects formed by the energy oscillations caused by the awakening of talents. Perhaps our past understanding of the phenomena of heaven and earth was wrong. In recent years, there has indeed been a new theory that suggests that the strange phenomena in the sky and the earth may be some kind of energy body, but the current situation is that they are actually conscious. This is outrageous. Wait. Look. What are those phantom monsters doing? Above the sky. In less than a few minutes, Yang Jinyue's vision of heaven and earth was completely destroyed and swallowed up by countless monsters and demonic phantoms. And at this moment, these phantom monsters no longer looked in the direction of Yang Chenghu who had just attacked them. Instead, all eyes were focused on one place. It is the magic circle where Chenghu is. The one that all the phantoms of the monsters were staring at was Chenghu himself, who was in the magic circle. Before anyone could react, all the phantoms of the monsters in the sky suddenly knelt down in unison towards Chen Jiyi's position. This moment, it was as if countless people were worshipping their king. Countless believers are worshipping their god. And Chenghu, he is the king they respect. That's the god they believe in. After this bow, the phantoms of monsters in the sky turned into miniature streams of light and flew towards Chenghu. The moment these streams of light touched Chen Jiyi's body, they all disappeared. It was as if it had merged into Chen Jiyi's body. In the blink of an eye, the flowing light disappeared completely. The sky above the playground of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School also returned to its previous sunny and cloudless calm. However, everyone present who witnessed this scene felt a surge of shock in their hearts. Especially on the hosting stage. The heads of various families and school leaders saw this scene. If the stares of those phantoms that frightened Yang Chenghu just now were an illusion, then it was a coincidence that the strange phenomenon in heaven and earth itself existed. So now, no one doubted anymore that these Chen Jiyi's visions of heaven and earth really had independent consciousness. Chen Jiyi's vision of heaven and earth is alive. No. It's not just about living. Normal strange phenomena in the sky and the earth are really just light and shadow effects. After a period of time, they will gradually fade and dissipate into the air. However, Chen Jiyi's visions of heaven and earth not only did not dissipate, but all returned to his body. This is something that has never happened in the more than 100-year history of game invasion. Everyone looked at Chenghu in the awakening circle, their eyes widening in shock. There was an inexplicable whimper in my throat, but I couldn't say anything. Next to Chenghu, Yang Jinyue was also staring at Chenghu. Her expression was completely dull, and her mouth unconsciously opened into a round shape. She watched helplessly as her vision of heaven and earth was brutally torn apart and eaten by Chen Jiyi's vision of heaven and earth. This left an indelible shadow on her young mind. Chenghu et al. It's falling on my head again. It doesn't matter if you don't pass the exam. Even if the profession awakens, the strange phenomena in the sky and the earth, which should not interfere with each other, are crushed and wiped out. Although it did not cause any substantial harm to himself. But it's insulting. Wronged. I want to cry. Tears fell from Yang Jinyue's beautiful eyes as if the strings had broken. Why? It's so bullying. She didn't see Chen Jiyi's awakened summoner class totem. Because she was also awakening at that time, she was only focused on looking at her personal attribute panel. So at this moment she only felt aggrieved. If she knew that Chenghu had awakened the Tianqing summoner profession, she might not be so sad, but instead feel sympathy for Chenghu. On the playground, there were those noisy students. It was completely silent. Everyone was terrified by the murderous looks from the monsters all over the sky. Add to that the shocking scene of all spirits paying homage. Everyone briefly forgot about Chen Jiyi's awakened Tianqing summoner profession. Everyone was still immersed in the shock of the strange phenomenon that had just occurred in heaven and earth. The only one who was in the career awakening array was Chenghu himself. He was extremely calm. Chenghu probably already had some guesses about the strange phenomena in the sky and earth that he was experiencing. It is very likely related to his second talent, soul destination. Those phantoms of monsters are probably not just phantoms, but souls. But Chen Gu will not tell anyone this secret. I straightened my school uniform a little. Chen Gu walked out of the awakening circle calmly. My own awakening ceremony has been completed, so of course I will give the magic circle to the next group of students who need to participate in the awakening ceremony. Teacher. It's time for you to call the next group of students to perform the awakening ceremony. Chen Gu also kindly reminded the teacher who was responsible for calling the roll. After all, I have always been the image of a good student. Ah. Oh. Oh, next batch, Zhou Shu. The teacher in charge of calling the roll seemed to wake up from a dream and continued to call the roll according to the list with some hesitation. The sound transmitted through the microphone and loudspeaker immediately awakened all the dazed people in the entire playground. A moment. The playground was once again in uproar. Everyone's eyes turned from dull to shocked when they looked at Chen Gu. Chen Gu nodded with satisfaction and showed an extremely pleased look to the teacher who called out his name to encourage him. Tianhe No. 1 Middle School will be disbanded without me. Well. What will happen to this school after I graduate? Worry. After completing the awakening ceremony, Chen Gu planned to go home directly. At present, I only have 2 super god-level talents, but I don't have any combat power at all. In order to bring out the effects of these 2 talents, you have to learn a summoning skill first. As for summoning skills, you can buy them in any store. After all, the corresponding summoning skills of the Tianqing summoner profession are also very cheap. There is no need to worry about this at all. However, considering that the strange phenomenon in the world caused by the awakening of his talent was a bit too exaggerated. Bald Old Su, also known as the Principal Su Weiman, probably came to find me to find out something about the situation. Moreover, Lao Su usually pays so much attention and cares for me, and has high hopes for my awakening profession. Now that he sees me awakening a Tianqing summoner, his heart must be broken. Alas. I still have to comfort Old Su and give him some psychological counseling. Really. Tianhe No. 1 Middle School will be disbanded without me. Chen Gu looked worried. A sidelong glance. There is a small tail following behind it. The grievance on Yang Jinyue's little face had not yet disappeared, and there were tears in the corners of her eyes. She was following behind him closely, with a conflicted look on her face, as if she wanted to say something but hesitated. Chen Gu was immediately happy. This girl is exactly the same as when she usually wants to ask about her grades after taking an exam but doesn't dare to. She wanted to know whether she had scored higher than Chen Gu, but she was afraid that she would be disappointed after asking Chen Gu about her results. As for now, it was obvious that she wanted to ask about her awakening profession. It seems that when this girl first woke up, she was so focused on her own awakening that she didn't even hear the discussions of the onlookers on the edge of the playground. Are you still following me? If you follow me again, I'll go home with you. Chen Gu said to Yang Jinyue with a chuckle. A blush suddenly flashed across Yang Jinyue's delicate and fair little face. You. Summoner. Ah. My awakened profession is summoner. You win this time. Chen Gu did not hesitate and simply chose to tell Yang Jinyue directly about his awakened profession so that she could be a little happier. After all, I will have to wait until my dual supergod level talents take effect. Yang Jinyue will always be pinned down by him, and will never have a chance to turn over. Hey! I'm such a good person. This world would be ruined without me. Maybe this is why I traveled to this world. Chen Gu waved his hand indifferently. Yang Jinyue was instantly struck by lightning. She looked at Chen Gu in disbelief, as if trying to confirm whether Chen Gu was teasing her on purpose. After all, Chen Gu had done this kind of thing before when the exam results were released. Although he got full marks in the exam, he occasionally deliberately said that he did not do well. Facing Chen Ji's confirming nod, her eyes suddenly became panicked and frightened. She opened her mouth and wanted to confirm again whether Chen Gu was joking with her. Old Su, looking anxious, was already jogging over. Chen Gu. Don't go home yet. Although the summoner class has some major flaws, the phenomena of heaven and earth produced by your talent are very powerful. Perhaps you have a chance to make up for some of the shortcomings of the summoner class. Several professional teachers from the school are here, as are the heads of several families in Tianhe City. They will all give me a favor and help you research a suitable career development direction. Chen Gu had been waiting for Lao Su for a long time. Chen Gu was still a little moved when he heard Su Weiman's words. It might be because the vision of heaven and earth that awakened his talent was too powerful, but Su Weiman really thought highly of himself, and it has always been so. Most importantly, see, even old Su has to call me Brother Chen. Without me, Tianhe No. 1 Middle School will have to disband. Chen Gu did not disappoint Su Weiman's efforts and followed him towards the host desk. Behind Chen Gu, Yang Jinyue's face turned pale instantly. After hearing Su Weiman's words, she was finally sure that Chen Gu was not deliberately teasing her this time. It was obvious that he had awakened a mage profession, which was a more powerful profession than Chen Ji's summoner. But at this moment, she did not feel the joy of finally defeating Chen Gu once. Regardless of any other emotions, she just put herself in Chen Ji's current situation. From being a genius student who could get full marks in every subject, he has fallen to being the most useless professional summoner. Chen Gu, how sad must he be feeling? But he was still laughing and joking with himself. Yang Jinyue felt a sharp pain in her chest. It was a heart-wrenching feeling. She came to her senses and hurriedly chased towards the host desk. At this time, on the playground, among the crowd of students watching, some of the cynicism towards Chen Ji's awakening of the summoner class has resurfaced. After being shocked by the strange phenomena in heaven and earth caused by Chen Gu, the dark psychology in these people's hearts was severely stimulated. This time, Yang Jinyue finally heard it. Her running steps suddenly stopped. He turned around and looked at everyone on the edge of the playground with a cold gaze. All of you shut up. Yang Jinyue didn't know why she stopped and yelled this. I just felt a little better after yelling. Turning around, he continued to follow Chen Gu and Su Weiman. Yang Jinyue's sudden roar immediately frightened the surrounding students into silence. Yang Jinyue is a mage by profession, and is also a legendary elemental god with a unique talent at the level of heaven and earth vision. And she is the daughter of the mayor of Tianhe City. No one dared to offend her to her face. Those people blamed Chen Gu for all their resentment. They cursed in their hearts but didn't dare to say anything more. However, Chen Gu himself was too lazy to pay attention to these buzzing flies. For annoying flies, you can either slap it to death. If it is not convenient to swat the fly to death, the best option is to ignore it first and wait for the opportunity to slap it to death. On the stage, Su Weiman introduced the heads of the noble families to Chen Gu one by one. Chen Gu also greeted politely. These family heads did not say anything sarcastic. But the cold attitude said it all. No matter how powerful Chen Ji's talent is, his profession is a summoner after all. In the more than 100 years since the game was invaded, there have been several summoners with legendary talents who have the power of heaven and earth, but without exception, they are all trash. Therefore, the heads of the noble families present were not optimistic about Chen Ji's future value. Only Yang Chonghu, the head of the Yang family, looked at his daughter Yang Jinyue who came with Chen Gu. Of course he heard his daughter's roar just now. When he looked at Chen Gu again, Yang Chonghu's expression was a bit gnashing of teeth, and there was an inexplicable dangerous gleam in his eyes. Chen Gu himself took it calmly and didn't care about their gazes at all. Chen Gu felt more grateful to Lao Su. Old Su hasn't given up on himself yet, even though he knows that he has awakened to the Tianqing summoner profession. This is Old Su sacrificing his dignity to fight for an opportunity for himself. Although Chen Gu didn't need this opportunity. Chen Gu, tell everyone about your talents and skills. Su Weiman rubbed his hands and reminded Chen Gu nervously. A professional's innate skills should be the professional's most core secret. But regarding Su Weiman's request at this time, Chen Gu didn't feel uncomfortable at all. He knew that this was Old Su's good intention. Replace it with someone who doesn't care. Summoners are useless. Who cares what your talents are? However, I am still touched. Chen Gu might naturally talk about all his talents. At least the second talent cannot be discussed. Soul's destination, the talent is too terrifying. Once it is exposed, there are only two possibilities. Either you will be chased and licked by others with heavy investments, or you will be strangled to death early. There is no other possibility. Chen Gu believes that there will be more people who will try to kill him while he is still weak. As for the first talent, infinite summoning, If you need the support of these families, you can talk about improving your value in their eyes and strive for some investment. But Chen Ge knew very well that he did not need any resources. The only thing I need is time. It's time to let your super god-level dual talents take effect. My talent is infinite summoning. Summoning skills have no cooldown time, and there is no upper limit to the number of summons. Chen Ge chose to tell only part of it. Moreover, it is a part that can be easily discovered in the future, so there is no point in hiding it. Whenever you fight with others in the future, they will see that your summoning skills have no cooldown time and there is no limit to the number of creatures you can summon. Of course, this was partly said for old Su, just to comfort him a little. Hear what Chen Ge said. Su Weiman's eyes suddenly lit up, his face flushed slightly with excitement. Yang Jinua's gloomy face beside her suddenly lit up with joy. The heads of the noble families also showed thoughtful expressions. Are you sure? There's no cooldown on the skill. There's no limit to the number of summons. Are you sure? Su Weiman grabbed Chen Ji's arm, his face full of excitement. Before Chen Ge could confirm, Su Weiman excitedly asked and answered himself questions. That's right. That's right. When you awakened, you saw strange phenomena in the sky and earth. The sky was filled with the shadows of various monsters. There is no limit to the number of creatures you can summon. The biggest problem for summoners is that the upper limit of the number of summoned creatures is too small. This is not a problem for you. What's more, summoning skills don't require cooldown. At the same time, the problem of slow upgrade of summoner skills has been solved. That's great. It's really great. In this way, your summoner is simply changing fate, and even compared to the mage profession, it won't be much worse. Su Weiman kept praising Chen Ge. But his eyes kept glancing at the heads of the noble families. Chen Ge still couldn't understand what Su Weiman meant. This is old Su putting down his own pride and trying to find a sponsor to invest and solve the problem of resource consumption. However, these family heads are not stupid either. Even if the summoner has no upper limit on the number of summoned creatures and the summoning skills have no cooldown. However, the material consumption of summoning skills is still a bottomless pit, the summoner himself is still fragile, and the summoned creatures inherit some of the summoner's attributes and are still garbage. With these resources, mages and warriors with ordinary talents can easily beat summoners. These family heads might give Su Weiman some resource support for his sake. But Chen Ge doesn't like it. It's really unnecessary to rely on Lao Su's favor. Old Su. It's over, it's over. You're blowing me too much. In fact, it is not as strong as you said. The problem of slow casting of summoner skills still exists. Also, summoning skills no longer have a cooldown, so the consumption of summoning materials will become a bottomless pit. Besides, the summoner himself is fragile. Chen Ge listed the summoner's weaknesses one after another. Hiss. Suddenly there was a sound of people sucking in their breaths of cold air all around. I've seen cruel people, but I've never seen anyone this cruel. Who would stab himself like crazy? Every blow hit the vital points. The summoner's weak spots were exposed. Su Weiman's face suddenly froze, and the amount of oil oozing out of his bald head increased by 2 tails. He turned around and glared at Chen Ge. You can't hide the look in your eyes when you want to stab someone. Okay. Is that what you're doing? I don't care about my dignity anymore and am here to flatter you. What's the point? But you are the one who sabotages everything. However, Su Weiman immediately understood Chen Ji's idea. If those family heads had really given some financial support, then that would be a favor I owed them and I would have to repay it in the future. Chen Ge couldn't bear to see me risking my reputation to beg for help, so he deliberately sabotaged it. Although Chen Ge is a little naughty sometimes, he is still a good kid. A warm feeling welled up in my heart. Su Weiman sighed helplessly. Forget it. Come with me to the school supply warehouse and I'll get you something. Eh? Old Su. We can't encroach on public property. The warmth that surged in old Su's heart disappeared in an instant. Just shut up. I'll pay for it myself later. Oh. Old Su, you're paying. Why didn't you say so earlier? Then I need all the summoner skill scrolls, and 10,000 copies of each type of material corresponding to all summoning skills, plus. Shut up. Don't make me beat you up on the podium in front of everyone in the school. Lao Su is a good person, but his attitude is not good enough. Chen Ge thought about it and wondered what would happen if old Su really beat him up. It seems that I really can't stop it at the moment. I can only shut up. I'll wait until I'm strong enough and then come back to help Lao Su adjust his mindset. School warehouse. Su Weiman took out a skill scroll and a bag of something that looked like dried green snot and stuffed them into Chen Ji's hands. Here. The summoner's primary skill, summon slime, and in this bag, there are 100 slime fragments. Although the summoner profession has some flaws, your talent is not weak, and it is not an exaggeration to say that it is very strong. There is still a good chance to become a powerful professional, so don't give up on yourself. There is still half a month left before the vocational school starts recruiting students, so I must strive to reach level 10. If you are short of materials or need anything else, please let me know. As long as you clear the personal breakthrough copy and reach level 10 before the entrance examination, you can prove your potential. Even if I have to lose face, I will definitely let you study in the professional academy. This time Chen Ge did not refuse. I already owe old Su a lot of favors over the years, so it wouldn't make any difference if I owed him a little more. After obtaining the summoning scroll, Chen Ge directly chose to learn skills. Old Su has returned to the playground to continue presiding over the career awakening ceremony. Chen Ge originally planned to purchase this summoning skill himself. Now that old Su delivered it directly, it saved Chen Ge a lot of time. Just don't rush home. Chen Ge decided to find a place to test the effects of his super god-level dual talents. The sooner you improve your own strength, the better. After much thought, all the high school students in the school are now watching on the playground. Then the school's grove is the place where you will be least disturbed. Soon we arrived at the grove. Of course, there was not a single pair of wild mandarin ducks in the grove. Chen Ge began to check the skills he had just learned. Summon slime. Level 0, proficiency 0%. Consume 1 slime fragment, 10 energy points. Summons a slime that inherits 10% of its own attributes to assist in battle. The number of slimes that can exist at the same time cannot exceed 10. Skill cooldown time is 30 minutes. It can be seen from the skills that the summoning skills are simply garbage. Release of skills not only consumes one's own energy, but also consumes the body fragments of the creature to be summoned by the corresponding skill. The so-called fragments are naturally fragments of the flesh. For example, the bag of slime fragments that Lao Su just gave to Chen Ge looked like shriveled, green snot. Moreover, this fragment cannot be just any piece of body fragment, it must be the small piece containing energy in the slime's corpse, which is not even produced by every wild slime. Unfortunately, these materials are also used in alchemy and medicine, and are not cheap. Just the lowest level slime fragments, a bag given by old Su would cost him almost half a month's salary. For ordinary summoners, even if they reach a high level and learn powerful summoning skills, the required materials are relatively rare. Just releasing a skill once will bankrupt you. And most importantly, the summoned creatures can only inherit part of the summoner's own attributes. The summoned creature that had just been summoned at great expense was killed in the blink of an eye. Who can I go to for justice? I can't even cry. Chen Ge doesn't need to worry about these problems at all now. He raised his hand and carved a summoning circle in midair according to the requirements of the skill. A full half-minute later, Chen Ge finally finished carving the magic circle for summoning slimes. Chen Ge was also unable to avoid the problem of extremely slow casting of summoning skills. The summoning circle flashed with light. Next second, a creature about 30 centimeters tall, that looked like a cricket pupa, emerged from the summoning circle. Snap. It fell directly to the ground and turned into a puddle. 2. His health is deducted. Holy shit. I just summoned him. It's only a little over 1 meter high, and falling down actually deducts 2 health points. Chen Ge was stunned. At a glance, the property panel of the object also appeared directly in front of him. Slime, Chen Ge. Level, 0. Health, 7. Energy, 17. Constitution, 1. Spirit, 2. Attack, 1. Defense, 1. See this touching panel data. Chen Ji's mouth twitched wildly. This is my summoned beast. It really makes sense that summoners are a niche profession. Including the 2 health points deducted, it originally had 9 health points, and its attack and defense were only 1 point each. Even a fragile summoner like me has 10 attack points and can kill this thing with 1 slap. No. If I stand a little higher, this thing will fall to its death. If you're facing a combat class like a mage or a fighter, this thing would probably just be summoned to annoy the enemy. Even the summoner himself, Chen Gu, was a little embarrassed to watch. On the ground, the slime's body had returned to its original shape. A pair of round little green eyes looked at Chen Gu blankly. Its eyes are full of wisdom. Chen Gu slapped his forehead helplessly and gently poked the slime with his toes. 1. Ah. Lost health again. I just touched it with my toes. Chen Gu is numb. I only knew from textbooks that the summoner profession was a pitfall. But I never thought it would be such a scam. It's okay. I don't expect this thing to help me fight, I just need it to die. Chen Gu felt a little better when he thought of his soul's destination, talent. Then Chen Gu raised his foot and stepped on the slime. Gurgle. It feels like stepping on fresh, warm cow dung. 6. Chen Gu itself has an attack power of 10 points. No surprise, it was killed instantly. The slime's body exploded on the spot. A flash of light flew across Chen Ji's chest and disappeared directly. And a prompt appeared in front of Chen Gu. Slime soul returns. Gain attack +1. Chen Ji's eyes suddenly lit up. Efficient. Killing your own summoned beast will also make soul's destination take effect. Infinite summoning allows skills to be released without consumption or cooldown. Summon slime only has a casting time of about half a minute. That means I can summon 2 slimes per minute, which means 120 slimes per hour. This is still the case at the current skill level 0. Even if you add the time it takes to kill the slime. I can increase attribute bonus by at least 100 points in an hour, but I don't know what the probability is of adding it to the main attributes, such as physique, spirit, etc. Even if the attributes are added incorrectly, it is not a big problem. All the attributes on the panel, including abnormal effect hits, resistance, element amplification, immunity, will be useful in the future. In fact, the higher the level of the professional, the greater the impact of these attributes on combat effectiveness. The more Chen Gu calculated, the more excited he became. Summon beast too weak. Is this a problem? This is an advantage. The weaker you are, the faster you die. The faster you get attribute bonuses. I don't even have to kill the slime myself. I can just climb to a higher place, summon the slime, and let it fall to its death naturally. It's okay if they don't die from the fall, I can let them attack each other, after all, there's no limit to the number of summons I can make. Slime. Please be a human being. Chen Gu does it as soon as he thinks of it. I just found a relatively thick tree in the grove. It seems that coming to the grove is the right decision. Chen Gu simply ignored the traces of wild mandarin ducks fighting under the tree and climbed up the tree in a few seconds. It's about 2 stories high. Start casting spells and carving summoning circles. Snap. 9. The second slime was instantly killed as soon as it landed on the ground. Slime's soul returns. Gain +1 appetite. Ah. How come there is such a bonus? Look at the second tip. Chen Gu was completely stunned. Forget it. Looks like I have to summon more slimes to die in order to get the proper attribute bonus I want. Chen Ji's eyes were firm. The speed of carving the summoning array on his hands did not stop at all. He even tried to carve the summoning array with both hands at the same time. I'm sorry. Chen Ji's attempt to fight with both hands was not successful. Brain, easy. I got it. Hand, What? What happened? The left hand and the right hand always have their own ideas, and the summoning circle always breaks down. I need to find some time to practice this spellcasting technique. But even if there is no need to fight with both hands, Chen Ji's summoning speed is not slow either. The slimes looked like someone was squatting on a tree branch and taking a shit, with one falling down every half a minute. Slime soul returns. Gain HP +1. The slime soul returns. Gain +1 stun resistance. The slime soul returns. Gain, summon slime, skill cooldown reduction +1. Ah. Summon slime skill cooldown. Holy shit. I ignored the cooldown. And you give me this? You wasted half a minute of my time. The slime soul returns. Get Yang Jinue's original panties +1. The slime soul returns. Gain physical damage +1. Ah. Some strange message seemed to have slipped in just now. Chen Gu quickly looked at the panel information. F*CK. Yang Jinue's original flavor. I'm a gentleman, and you're doing this to me. Can you get this with the talent of Soul's destination? Where are the things? Where is it? Chen Gu looked for it. Finally found it in the storage space of the personal panel. When each professional awakens, he will be equipped with a storage space of about 1 cubic meter, and all the contents inside will explode after death. At this time, in Chen Ji's storage space, in addition to the bag of 100 slime fragments that Lao Su had given him before, there was one more thing. A small and exquisite pair of panties with a cartoon pattern and a little lace. Hiss. If Yang Jinue finds out about this, there will be no explanation. Chen Gu thought about it, and the panties instantly appeared in his hand, and he wanted to throw them away. On second thought, it's not appropriate to leave Yang Jinue's things in the woods. It seems I should find a chance to return the things to their original owners. Chen Gu had another idea and put the panties back into the storage space. He continued to squat on the tree branch and shit without blushing or beating his heart. Summoning a slime to die. At the same time, on the playground, Yang Jinue was being pulled to a corner of the podium by Yang Chenghu for questioning. Yeah, you and that Chen Gu. Dad, what are you talking about? There's nothing between me and Chen Gu, nothing at all. Don't talk nonsense. He and I are just classmates. He has excellent academic performance and always gets full marks in all subjects. He has always been the number one in our school. Principal Su also thinks highly of Chen Gu. Yang Chenghu's face suddenly turned dark. I haven't said anything yet. But the daughter was anxious. What is she in such a hurry for? Okay. Stop. You and Chen Gu are classmates, Dad knows. Yang Chenghu quickly interrupted his daughter's explanation. He felt that if he let his daughter continue talking, she might be able to talk about Chen Ji's good points for 3 days and 3 nights without stopping. But this is not what the old father wants to hear. Being interrupted by her father, Yang Jinue blushed and dared not look into her father's eyes. Hey. Yeah. Daddy wants to remind you that Chen Gu awakened to the summoner profession after all. And you have awakened the only legendary profession, the elemental god of magic. In the future, you will go to top universities such as the Imperial Capital Academy and Huaqing Academy. And Chen Gu he. Yang Chenghu didn't continue speaking, but his meaning was already very clear. Yang Chenghu knew very well that if he spoke too harshly, it would cause his daughter to rebel, so he just objectively analyzed the pros and cons for his daughter. Upon hearing her father's words, Yang Jinue's face turned pale. Chen Gu and I are just classmates. His talent is also the only legendary one. Infinite summoning. He said it was infinite summoning. Maybe he can go to the Imperial Capital as a summoner. Chen Gu said before that he wanted to go to school in the Imperial Capital. Yang Jinue's voice was excited for a moment, then slowly became low and dim. Yes. Summoner profession. As a top student, how could Yang Jinue not know this? No summoner in history has ever been able to enter those top institutions. Because one of the admission requirements for the professional academy is that the professionals must reach level 10 during the half-month between the awakening ceremony and the national entrance examination. No summoner in history has ever been able to achieve this within half a month. For professionals, from level 9 to 10, from level 19 to 20, from level 29 to 30. Every time you upgrade from level 9 to 10, you need to clear the personal breakthrough dungeon. You cannot use any equipment or props in the breakthrough dungeon, and you cannot accept help from anyone else. Even the buff effects such as potions and talismans used before starting the Breakthrough Dungeon challenge will be dispelled after entering the dungeon. You can only challenge the dungeon by relying on your own strength. Only after clearing the corresponding breakthrough copy. Only then can the level of professionals continue to improve. There is no limit on the number of times you can challenge a breakthrough dungeon. However, the entrance examination for vocational schools is time-limited. If you fail to reach level 10 within half a month, you will be deemed to have failed to meet the admission requirements and will lose the qualification to take the entrance examination. Under normal circumstances, professionals who lose their qualifications will never be able to enroll in professional schools. Yang Jingyue was silent. Even though she was very confident in Chen Ji's infinite summoning talent. But I really have no confidence that Chen Gu can clear the dungeon and reach level 10 within half a month. In the first 0 to 9 levels, Yang Jingyue was even willing to take the initiative to team up with Chen Gu to upgrade, but for the breakthrough copy from 9 to 10, Chen Gu could only rely on himself, and no one else could help. Otherwise, the summoner grandson of the richest man in the Longxia Empire wouldn't have been stuck at level 29 for so many years. Just then, Yang Jinyue's cell phone rang. I took out my phone and saw the note, "Mom." Yang Jinyue was in a depressed mood and answered the call weakly. "Hello. Yeah. This is your mother. Did you put all the clothes you took off after taking a shower last night in the laundry basket? I just washed your clothes and found that your panties are missing. Did you put them somewhere else? Or did you not change them last night? Did you put them back on again?" Ah. Yang Jinyue was completely stunned. But I was worried about whether Chen Gu could pass the dungeon. "Mom, how can I continue to wear something I've worn? I put it in the laundry basket, can you help me find it?" "Okay. Then Mom will look for it again. This is strange. How could it be gone? Could it be stolen? This shouldn't be possible." After the phone call was hung up, Yang Jinyue didn't take this matter to heart. Small woods. Chen Gu had been squatting on the tree branch for 2 hours. My legs are numb from squatting. There is a long list of information prompts on the virtual panel in front of me. Slime Soul returns. Gain critical hit rate +1. The Slime Soul returns. Gain summoned creature size +1. Slime Soul returns. Get sex kit +1. Slime Soul returns. Gain Constitution +1. The Slime Soul returns. Gain Slime Fragment +1. Slime Soul returns. Obtain Hemostatic Grass, Medicinal Herb, +1. Slime Soul returns. Gain Cooking Oil +1. Nyoboi, the Soul's destination. He really can get anything. Chen Gu looked directly at his personal attributes. Name, Chen Gu. Level, 0%. Occupation, Soul Summoner. HP, 122. Energy value, 189. Constitution, 11. Spirit, 18. Attack, 26. Defense, 11. Talent, Infinite Summoning, Unique. Soul Destination, Unique. Skill, Summon Slime, Proficiency level 0, 62%. Equipment, Empty. Summoning Space, 0/infinity. Storage Space. The Summon Slime skill was used a total of 236 times in 2 hours. The reason for the 4 fewer times was that my legs were numb from squatting, and I wasted 2 minutes adjusting my posture on the tree branches several times. Chen Gu did not put any of the summoned slimes into the summoning space. All of them become your own attribute bonuses. Even later on, Chen Gu found that the eyes of the slime he summoned seemed to be much clearer. There is a kind of beauty in those green eyes that makes people feel like they have no desire to live. But the harvest is also very good. Health, energy, physique, spirit, attack, defense, almost all of them have been improved. There are also resistance to stun effects, freezing effect hits, earth element damage amplification, lightning element damage immunity. These attributes have also been improved. What's even more outrageous is that in Chen Ji's storage space, there were several kilograms more rice, flour, grain, and oil, and a few sexy outfits that would make people blush and their hearts beat faster at the first sight. Chen Gu jumped down from the tree. The ground under the tree was covered with a thick layer of slime from the slime corpse. It makes a crunching sound when you step on it, and it feels like you're stepping on shit. Milky white mucus. There were enough of them so that others wouldn't misunderstand that some fierce battle was taking place under the big tree. After all, the amount produced in battle cannot be so much. I guess there won't be any students coming to this big tree to discuss practical combat for a long time to come, right? After listening for a while, Chen Gu sighed softly. Listen to the noise coming from the playground. It seems like the career awakening ceremony is almost over. Next, I have to summon 100 slimes to report to Lao Su. After all, I can't return the slime fragments he gave me, otherwise it will make old Su sad. Chen Gu continued to release the skill of summoning slime. And just at this moment, the outskirts of the grove, there was a sneaky figure of a dog hiding behind a big tree and peeking into the woods. Soon, 2 more figures with the same sneaky look came to join him. Where is Chen Gu? Are you sure Chen Gu is still in the woods? Sure. I saw him come in. After Principal Su gave him the things, he went back to the playground, and Chen Gu came to the grove. That's when I called you. I've been watching here the whole time, but I didn't see him come out. He must still be in there. Ha. That bastard Chen Gu has finally met his end. I bet he's awakened his summoner class and is probably crying his heart out in the woods right now. Hey, let's go and beat up Chen Gu in the woods. We won't be punished by Principal Su, right? After all, Principal Su thinks highly of Chen Gu. What the hell do you care about? My dad is on the school board. Su is just the principal. If he dares to punish us, I'll have my dad call a board meeting and replace Su. But last time we blocked Chen Gu, he ended up beating us up, and Principal Su punished us. You also said at the time that you would ask your father to hold a board meeting to replace the principal, but in the end, no one changed him. What do you know? That was in the past. Chen Gu had good grades, and the school needed him to get into a good institution to help expand the school's reputation. Now it's different. Chen Gu has awakened a useless summoner, and he can't even get into a professional academy. There's no way Su will help him. We're just beating him up to get revenge. If we don't beat him up now and avenge the 3 years of high school when he stepped on us and prevented us from showing off, we won't have another chance later. We are all professionals going to the professional academy. And Chen Gu probably won't even be qualified to take the professional academy entrance exam. Wait. Will we be able to beat him? Chen Gu always gets full marks in every combat class. Last time, we were 3 against 1 and still couldn't win. Why are you so cowardly? Didn't I just give you a warrior's heavy attack skill scroll for you to learn? The 3 of us are now professionals with learned skills. You 2 are warriors, 1 is a warrior, and I'm an assassin. What's there to be afraid of when you can control a useless summoner like Chen Gu? That's right. Beat up Chen Gu. Revenge. Revenge. Let's go. Into the woods. Beat up Chen Gu. Get revenge. 3 figures rushed into the woods with great momentum. And in the grove, Chen Gu discovered something was wrong. Something big went wrong. The 100 slimes prepared to report to Lao Su have been summoned. They were neatly arranged in a 10 by 10 square array on an open space. But that's where the problem lies. Chen Gu found that among 100 slimes, 1 is in a bad mental state. The other slimes' little green eyes were filled with curiosity about the new world and new environment, and their bodies, like those of lecturers, stood upright. The only one is the slime closest to him. Those little green eyes were filled with decadence and gloom, and his whole body was drooping limply, just like a real defense. He looked like he had lost all hope in life. The moment Chen Ji's eyes met that of the strange slime, Chen Gu felt that he saw deep resentment and a desire to give up in the other person's eyes. What the hell? What's going on? Chen Gu was a little confused. Why does one of the slimes I summoned seem broken? One of the professional flaws of a summoner seems to be that the summoned beasts with primary skills have too low IQs, making it difficult to command battles. Some summoned beasts summoned by summoners lack fighting spirit and are afraid of death. Although summoned beasts cannot disobey the summoner's orders, there have been cases where summoned beasts have slacked off during battle. But this human emotion. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. This slime, it can't be. Chen Ge suddenly thought of an outrageous possibility. The slime I summoned before, isn't it always the same one? The soul's destination. Oh shit. Its soul has been summoned by me repeatedly, and each time it carries the memory of the last summoning. No wonder. No wonder I seem to see the summoned slimes trying to struggle while falling a few times before. After that, I never saw any signs of struggle again. Thinking of this, Chen Ge couldn't help but feel his scalp tingling. That's repeated death. A full 236 times. From a tree branch 5 or 6 meters high, it fell like a pile of debris, and fell to death. Chen Ge couldn't help but feel a little guilty. Hiss. So cruel. Wait. Does this mean the slimes I summon can be trained? The slimes summoned by other summoners are summoned by sacrificing slime fragments in the summoning circle each time, and a different slime will appear each time. So the training is a waste of effort. Once you die, the next time you summon a different one, it will be a different one. But I'm different. I summoned it with its soul. Once it is summoned, its soul will return to my body after death, and I will summon it again and again. Even the next time I summon, I will prioritize summoning the slime in my body, and it is very likely that I will summon them in the order of death. The slight sense of guilt in Chen Ji's heart was instantly swept away. Then his face gradually showed surprise. If my vision can be realized. Then, when my own attributes are strong enough in the future, the attributes inherited by the slime will also be very strong. Plus the combat experience from training. Slime is not necessarily used only to die, and it cannot be used for fighting. Plus my infinite summons. The slime army crushes everything. Hiss. Oh shit. My slime is going to be awesome. Originally, Chen Ge thought that when he was at a low level, he could only rely on soul destination to strengthen his own attributes, and then rely on himself to kill monsters and level up. If you want to rely on summoned beasts to fight, you have to level up and learn high-level summoning skills. After all, other summoners mostly upgrade in this way in the early stages. Now it seems that the unlimited explosion of soldiers and death-seeking and overwhelming flow that I had planned will be released ahead of schedule. You. It's you. From now on, your name will be 236. Chen Ge grabbed the decadent and hopeless slime. The soft and elastic body swayed violently in Chen Ji's hands. From now on, you will be the boss of all my slimes. You are their leader, you are the Slime King. Go to the summoning space, and you will be responsible for leading them in training and fighting. As Chen Ge spoke, he showed the Slime King he appointed to all the slimes. Then he put all the 100 slimes into the summoning space. The summoning space is similar to a special world. However, this world is completely desolate and is specially used for summoners to gather summoned creatures. Summoned creatures are immune to all damage in the summoner's summoning space and will slowly recover from their injuries. After this group of slimes were thrown in, they were all confused. They don't have high IQs. All explode immediately. Huh? This human, why did he summon us out? Hen. He seemed to be talking about training for battle. How can we train? We're slimes. How can we fight? Wait. Look at the slime in the middle. It seems the human just crowned it as our king. Yes, yes. The human master even gave it the name 236. It sounds like a great name. So we have a king. Then why bother using our brains? We can just follow the king's orders. That's right. Just follow the king's orders. Using your brain is too much trouble. King. Give the order. Give the order. Surrounded by slimes like the moon surrounded by stars. 236. I am still completely confused at this moment. Its pitiful brain couldn't figure out what the human being who repeatedly summoned it and repeatedly threw it to death meant. Training. Fighting. Next second. 236. Suddenly I realized it. So. That's what battle is. All of you slimes. Follow me in training and fighting. And Chen Ji sighed. Summon. Summon me fiercely. Unlimited explosion of soldiers. Summon enough slime souls first. As long as there are enough slimes in hand. At that time, it will be up to you to either let them die or form a slime army to train for combat and push forward. None of them are a problem. Of course, the most important thing right now is to let them die. After all, the foundation for forming a slime army to defeat everything still depends on my own strength. And his own strength attributes come from the slime's suicidal feedback. It's just that the method of committing suicide will need to be adjusted in the future. There was absolutely no point in falling to death like before. It is best to let them die in batches in battle, so that they can accumulate some combat experience. Although brains are not enough for slime. But if you kill more people, your combat experience will definitely improve a little bit. The summoning array in Chen Ji's hand kept moving. Summon one and send it into your own summoning space. It makes no difference to you whether the summoned slime dies early or late. Anyway, as long as it dies in the end, its attribute bonus will not be reduced. When I came to the grove before, I was mainly concerned about the slime corpse. Since we have decided to summon them out and keep them, we can let them die collectively later. Then there is no need for me to stay in the woods any longer. The same is true when going home to call. Wouldn't it be more convenient to go out of the city and hunt monsters in the wilderness to die? I could also kill monsters and level up at the same time. Chen Gu continued to cast spells and carve the summoning array while practicing casting spells with both hands. If you can master the technique of casting spells with both hands, Chen Ji's summoning speed will be doubled, and the rewards from sending the slime to death will also be doubled. Therefore, Chen Gu still couldn't forget about casting spells with both hands. While walking out of the grove. However, after walking for a while, we were about to walk out of the grove. Chen Gu suddenly found that 3 familiar figures were blocking his way. Jin Yao, Zhang Wenlong, Zhang Wenhu. It was a classmate of mine. However, Chen Ji's relationship with these 3 people is not good. Jin Yao's father is a member of the school board, and the 2 Zhang brothers are Jin Yao's lackeys. Jin Yao has always wanted to pursue Yang Jinyue. Unfortunately, Yang Jinyue completely ignored him. Instead, she followed Chen Gu every day to compete with him in various achievements. Jin Yao was unhappy with Chen Gu and would bring people to block Chen Gu from time to time. However, he was beaten up by Chen Gu every time, and Chen Gu took advantage of his status as a top student to report the teacher without any moral principles. Let this guy not only get beaten but also scolded. These 3 guys suddenly came to the grove. Looks like you're here to block me. Chen Gu raised his eyebrows slightly, with a hint of amusement on his face. When Chen Gu discovered Jin Yao, Zhang Wenlong, and Zhang Wenhu, the 3 of them also discovered Chen Gu. Chen Gu. We meet again. When enemies meet, Jin Yao's expression is somewhat gnashed with anger. But Chen Gu was not afraid at all and just smiled. What's up? Are you 3 feeling itchy again? Do you miss the days when I pinned you to the ground and beat you? If I remember correctly, the last time I beat you up was about 3 days ago, right? Is it true that if you don't punish them for 3 days, they will tear down the roof? You. Jin Yao's face flushed red when Chen Gu touched his sore spot. Soon, he calmed down again. Chen Gu, stop pretending. Do you think you will still be taken care of by Baldy Su like before? So what if your grades are good? The one you awakened is a useless summoner, right? If the 3 of us brothers beat you up today, would Baldy Su still help you? Jin Yao said with a smug look on his face. Chen Gu understood immediately. It turned out that Jin Yao saw that he had awakened to the summoner profession, and they felt that they were good enough. Seeing that Chen Gu did not refute his words, Jin Yao's expression became even more smug. Oh, I forgot to tell you that our 3 awakened professions are assassin, warrior, and martial artist. I even went home specifically to learn the first skill, and also gave skills to Xiaolong and Xiaohu. Even though you are good at fighting classes, can you beat the 3 of US professionals who have learned some skills? It's no use even if you kneel down and beg for mercy today. I, Jin Yao, said so. Jin Yao stared at Chen Gu provocatively. The 2 lackeys beside him also showed arrogant grins. See them smiling happily. Chen Gu also smiled happily. Let's redefine the summoner profession, starting with you 3. Really? I don't believe it. Chen Ji's calmness actually made Jin Yao and his 2 lackeys feel helpless. The three of them looked at each other quickly and felt a little uneasy. The shadow of being beaten by Chingu during the 3 years of high school came back to my mind. The three of them exchanged frantic glances. Why isn't he afraid of us? Isn't he an awakened useless summoner? He seems so confident. Will we be able to defeat him? What are you afraid of? Don't forget that the three of us are all professionals now. And we are professionals who have already learned a skill. Brother Yao, I think Qin Ji's eyes are not right. How about we retreat first? That's right. Brother Yao, although we have skills, we have just awakened our professions. At level 0, our physical fitness and attributes are no different from those of summoners. F***CK. Why are you two so cowardly? Finally. Chengu couldn't bear it anymore. What's wrong with you three? Aren't you here to stop me? How can you be so disgusting as to flirt with me in front of me? Hey. Stop looking at me, your eyes are going to tear. If you want to be gay, go home and do it. Or I'll let you guys eat my way through the grove. Qin Ji's words frightened the three of them so much that they quickly distanced themselves from each other. Jin Yao's face turned red instantly. You. Stop talking nonsense. I'm not gay. Xiaolong, Xiaohu. Follow me. Beat him up. After Jin Yao finished speaking, he rushed towards Chingu first. His two younger brothers, look at this situation. The boss himself rushed forward. I can only bite the bullet, overcome my fear of Chingu, and move forward together. Chingu looked at the three people rushing towards him and immediately smiled. You came just in time. As he spoke, Chingu waved his hand. Directly release all the slimes in the summoning space. The summoned beasts gathered by the summoner in the summoning space can be summoned instantly at any time. Plus the few slimes I just summoned on the road. More than 100 slimes appeared in front of Chengu in an instant. What the hell? What the hell? Jin Yao, who was rushing in the front, stepped directly on a slime. 8. A health deduction prompt floated up from the slime's head. The slime now inherits 10% of Qin Ji's health and has 13 health points. Moreover, the defense is also slightly improved. Jin Yao stepped on the slime, but failed to kill it instantly. Instead, he stepped on the slime's body with one foot and slid forward. Forced into a split position. Ah. Eggs. My eggs. The severe pain of having his balls pulled made Jin Yao's eyes go black in an instant. He fell to the ground, holding his balls and wailing. Chengu was speechless when he saw this scene. I originally wanted to use Jin Yao and the other three to test the combat effectiveness of the slime group. Unexpectedly, Jin Yao's actions directly helped him discover a new use for slime. Letting the slime drill under the enemy's feet to interfere with the enemy's movement is also a combat method that can be developed. Just then. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The group of slimes summoned by Chingu suddenly let out excited chirps. 236 among the slimes. It was being supported by several slimes, making it higher than the other slimes. It is very excited at this moment. The master who summoned him had just arranged for him to train a group of slimes to fight. He was summoned out just as he began his training. What does this mean? This shows that the master is satisfied with his training of the slime tribe. This is the master summoning me to inspect the training results. All the slimes. The master has summoned us again. It's time to show the results of our training. Even though we only trained for a few minutes. But we already have super strong fighting power. Help the master defeat the enemy. Do you have confidence? Have. Tell me loudly, every one of you, do you have confidence? Yes. 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 For a moment, all the slimes were aroused by 236. All of them were shouting wildly. Very good. Every slime will remember what I said. We are immortal. The master has given us eternal life. All we have to do is fight as we were trained. All the slimes are crazier. They all howled and twisted their bodies like they were preparing for a debate, full of fighting spirit. Chengu immediately spotted the slime he had named 236 and crowned the slime king among the group of slimes. At this moment, all the decadence in 236 disappeared. The whole slime is full of passion like chicken blood, and is howling high among the slime group. Unfortunately, Chen-gu couldn't understand the slime's language and had no idea what it was shouting at the other slimes. If I remember correctly, it's only been 5 minutes since I put them into the summoning space. Chen-gu was a little confused. What happened to it in just a few minutes? Is it because I named it the King of Slimes? With a career, even slime becomes passionate. But what's with all the slimes becoming passionate? Could it be that? Is it really genius? It was born to be the Slime King. I just happened to be the first one summoned. And he just happened to fall to his death 236 times like in a defense, and I accidentally named him the Slime King. Chen-gu was confused by the slime he summoned. Jin Yao finally recovered and saw clearly what was in front of him. I was completely stunned. Slime. Why are there so many slimes? The next second, he thought of something. He raised his head and looked at Chen-gu in disbelief. You summoned it. This is impossible. This is impossible. Behind Jin Yao, brothers Zhang Wenlong and Zhang Wenhu saw their boss fall and rushed over to help him up. The two also saw the more than 100 slimes in front of Chen-gu. All of them looked shocked. Chen-gu has learned the summoner's level 0 skill, summoning a slime. Holy crap. How can his skills be so powerful? He can summon over 100 slimes at once. This doesn't make sense. Bang. Jin Yao endured the pain in his balls and slapped the idiot next to him on the head. Summoning bullshit. I told you guys to stop studying and embarrass me by being so uneducated. He didn't even cast a spell to carve the summoning circle. He just released it from the summoning space. Ah. Released from the summoning space. Brother Yao, I remember that at level 0, the summoner class only has one summoned creature. Why does Chen-gu have so many? Jin Yao's expression suddenly froze. You ask me. How the hell would I know? That's right. Talent. It must be his innate skill. The effect of that innate skill that caused the strange phenomenon in heaven and earth. Brother Yao, should we still beat him up? He has so many slimes. Should we run? Seeing that his two younger brothers were cowardly again, Jin Yao was immediately furious. It's like this again. It's like this again. Every time he blocked Chen-gu, it was because his two younger brothers backed down too quickly that he was always pinned to the ground and beaten by Chen-gu. Shut up. Why are you running? Beat him up. No matter how many slimes he has, they're useless. Slimes are completely harmless, and Chen-gu himself is still a squishy summoner. We can just rush over and beat him up. Hear the conversation between these three funny guys. Chen-gu was also speechless. After 3 years of being beaten, he still hasn't made any progress. Then I'll reluctantly beat you up again before graduation to teach you a lesson. The trio rekindled their determination to beat up Chen-gu. However, the slime side was already full of fighting spirit after hearing 230 SIX's passionate speech. 236 howled loudly and rushed towards Jin Yao, who had just been helped up by his two younger brothers. The body is like an oversized defense lawyer, and when it jumps, it makes a duang-wang sound. Finally, 236 rushed to Jin Yao. When Jin Yao was still confused and couldn't understand what this slime was trying to do, 230 SIX's body jumped up directly on the spot. He sat down on Jin Yao's head. This is the true meaning of fighting that it realized after experiencing 236 deaths. There must be a reason why the master trained himself 236 times. It's a pity that I didn't have time to climb up the tree and jump down. Otherwise, the effect would have been much better. 236 There was a slight regret in his heart. 1. It slowly floated out above Jin Yao's forehead. 236 excitedly shouted to all its people. All those lumps of slime. See. I will only perform this once. This is the fighting method taught to me by the great master. I have practiced this invincible fighting method a full 236 times in my life. Everyone please follow my demonstration. Pay attention to your posture and angle. Make sure your butt is pointed at the enemy's head. Don't be afraid of death. The master has granted us immortality. 236 hasn't finished speaking yet. A fist had been hammered into its butt and out of its head. Directly smashed its body. The sticky slurry splattered everywhere. 1-3. It slowly floated out from the place where its body exploded. Flash sale. The back of Jin Yao was exposed, with veins throbbing on his forehead and a dark face. The slime hits the face and deals 1 damage. Jin Yao's mentality completely exploded. Chen Gu. How dare you humiliate me? How dare you humiliate me? I won't let you go. I will beat you until you kneel down and beg for mercy. Jin Yao's face was filled with anger. He felt that this was what Chen Gu did on purpose. The slimes summoned by other summoners are pure garbage. Even if you force a slime to attack, it will only move slowly and hit the enemy's ankle with its head. But Chen Ji's slime is so weird. He even jumped up and hit my face with his butt. Who would believe that this was not deliberately manipulated by Chen Gu? Deliberately let the summoned slime jump onto his face. The slime that looks exactly like the one in the defense is the biggest humiliation. Chen Gu himself was also stunned. My slime also has this skill. It's not even mentioned in the textbook. Is this an attack skill or a taunt skill? It's an attack skill, but the damage is only 1 point. It is said to be a taunt skill, but it is not affected by the effect of the hit. Just when 236 was smashed to pieces by Jin Yao's punch. All the slimes present were strangely quiet. The scene fell silent. Pairs of small green eyes all rolled their eyes at Chen Gu. As if they were all expecting something. This time, Chen Gu was confused again. What's going on? What are you looking forward to? He found himself a little confused about the slimes he had summoned. After so many years of study, the records about slimes in textbooks say that slime's IQ is not even as good as that of insects. It's all fake. The slime I summoned seems to have a brain. Although, I just feel that this person's brain is a little crooked. Forget it. I don't understand what's going on in the minds of these people answering the questions. We should just summon your king to lead you. Chen Gu immediately began to release the summon slime skill. If nothing unexpected happens, the soul of this slime summoned must be 236. Jin Yao and the other 2 on the opposite side finally came to their senses. See Chen Gu using the summoning skill. Go. Kill all these slimes. The cooldown time for the slime summoning skill is half an hour. As long as we kill all his slimes, he will be useless. Then he will be a fragile summoner and we can easily take him down. As Jin Yao spoke, he wanted to rush forward and kill the slime first. However, as soon as he took a step, he hit his balls again. The severe pain that had just eased came back again. The pain made him clamp his legs together. Ah! Hiss! Xiaolong, Xiaohu. You 2 go first. Kill his slime first, I'll take a break. Hiss! When the brothers Zhang Wenlong and Zhang Wenhu heard Jin Yao's order, they looked at their boss's legs with a little worry. He reluctantly let go of Jin Yao and prepared to kill the slime. And just for a moment. The summoning circle in Chen Ji's hand has been completed. A slime jumped out of the magic circle. That face that looks like it's answering a question even gives people the illusion that it has everything under control. 236 leaped out from the summoning circle as if a king had returned. Even Chen Gu felt that this slime had a strange and domineering aura. As soon as 236 jumped out of the summoning circle, he immediately howled loudly. My bastards! The master has granted me resurrection. This king. Back. Ha ha ha. This moment. All the slimes at the scene went completely crazy. All of them made sharp and explosive sounds crazily. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And there were those madly twisting, oversized bodies that looked like they were defending themselves. The king really didn't lie to us. We are immortal. The master has granted us slimes eternal life. Our souls are immortal. Long live the slime tribe. Long live our king. Long live our master. Led by 236, all the slimes made sharp explosions in unison. Everyone looked at Chen Gu with a hint of fanaticism in their eyes. The scene in the grove suddenly became very strange. Although Chen Gu couldn't understand what these slimes were shouting like they were answering questions. But from the look in their eyes, it can also be seen that these slimes seem to have some strange worship of themselves. However, it is always a good thing that the summoned creatures you summon are full of fighting desire. Chen Ge was too lazy to delve into it. Anyway, they are just slimes sent to die. Directly gave orders to all slimes to attack Jin Yao and the other two. The slime group returned because of 230 SIXS resurrection. The sudden madness had frightened Jin Yao and the other two. At this moment, they saw all the slimes suddenly turn their heads and look in the direction of the three of them. The three of them suddenly felt a jolt in their hearts. My legs felt a little weak. Yao, Yao, Yao. Check making trouble. No. Yao, brother Yao, I'm a little scared. Brother Yao, I want to pee. Jin Yao also swallowed hard. Suddenly, he was targeted by hundreds of slimes. He was also a little panicked. The humiliation of being attacked by the slime just now is still fresh in my mind. And then, there might be hundreds of slimes riding on your face. Chen Ge. He plucked up the courage to shout at Chen Ge. I suddenly remembered that I have something else to do. My mom told me to go home early to eat after the awakening ceremony, so I'll let you go today. Before Jin Yao could finish his harsh words, the slime group has begun to jump wildly. Behind the group of slimes, Chen Ge smiled coldly. Now you remember to go home for dinner. Too late. Since you're here, if I don't give you a beating, wouldn't it seem like I'm not treating you well enough? As Chen Ge finished speaking, a bunch of slimes in front have already jumped high. He sat down on the heads of Jin Yao and the other two. For a while, the grove was filled with flying answers. Filled with the various cries of slimes. A bunch of slime butts smashed towards the heads of Jin Yao and the other two. Ah! Don't come over here. Quick! Use your skills. Kill the slime first. Too much. Too much. I can't bear it. Put it in my mouth, you. The three of them were attacked by clumps of slimes at the same time, and they looked extremely embarrassed. Although from time to time slimes were beaten to pieces by Jin Yao and his two companions. After all, slime is really garbage. Jin Yao and the other two could kill a lot of slimes just by attacking randomly, and it didn't even take more than 2 attacks to kill each slime. The feedback from the slime's death and soul's destination also made Chen Ge very satisfied. The slime soul returns. Gain taunt hit +1. The slime soul returns. Gain slime fragment +1. The slime soul returns. Gain cavernous corpus filling speed +1. The slime soul returns. Gain. This is the correct way to unlock these 2 super god level talents, infinite summoning, and soul's destination. Normally, summon more slimes and then kill them in batches. Chen Ge is very satisfied with the effect. The slime over there was killed. Chen Ge kept calling out repeatedly. The eyes of the resummoned slime were different. More frenzied than before. Jump up in the face. He is simply fearless of death. Chen Ge's scalp tingled just watching this. Chen Ge didn't know whether his slime was strong or not. But one thing is certain. His own summon slime skill, under the influence of the soul's destination talent. It is no longer the same skill as other summoners' summon slime skill. The slime he summoned was running wildly in a strange direction like a wild horse. Even if I learn other summoning skills in the future, there will be unpredictable and outrageous changes. This slime jumps into your face to attack. It caused little damage to Jin Yao and the other two. Above their heads, the 3 of them all had a -1-1-1 health reducing special effect. But this kind of attack method of jumping up and hitting the face with the butt. It's not very harmful, but it's extremely insulting. Gradually, Jin Yao and the other two lost the ability to resist. Gradually being submerged by slimes. Their screams gradually became inaudible. Chen Ge quickly called out to stop the slime that was already riding on his face. If they didn't stop them, this group of slimes would probably really sit on Jin Yao and the other two to death. This is in Tianhe City. But no one can be killed. Otherwise, law enforcement will come knocking on your door. After the game invasion, areas where monsters would not spawn appeared in some parts of the world, which were called safe zones. Humans slowly abandoned the urban areas that had been occupied by monsters. Instead, build new cities in safe zones. Human social order was naturally re-established. The Law Enforcement Bureau is an important organization that maintains order in human cities. Chen Ge doesn't have the strength to confront those professionals from the Law Enforcement Bureau head-on now. Wait until the slime swarm spreads out. On the ground, Jin Yao and the other two looked completely defeated. His clothes were disheveled. There was a lot of milky white mucus hanging all over the body. Well, it's not some strange liquid, but the body tissue of the slime after it was blown up. The three saw that the slime finally stopped. Finally, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Just now they thought they were going to be killed by the slime. The health bar has reached the bottom. After everyone awakens and becomes a professional, their health points reach about 100 points. The slime sat on my face, and the score was reduced to single digits, -1-1-1. Thinking about this way of dying, the three of them found it hard to accept. It's so humiliating. Chen Ge walked over from behind the group of slimes. How is it? Are you satisfied with my hospitality today? The three of them were suddenly frightened. Compared to the 3 years of high school, when he tried to block Chen Ge again and again, he was pinned to the ground and beaten. The psychological trauma left on the three people today has completely caused their mentality to collapse. I'm afraid that from now on, whenever I see Chen Ge or slime, I will recall everything that happened in the grove today. Not talking. It seems you weren't satisfied with the hospitality you provided to the three brothers. Seeing that the three of them were silent, Chen Ge suddenly looked embarrassed, as if he wanted to continue inviting slime over to continue entertaining him. Jin Yao and the other two were immediately scared out of their wits. The three of them shook their heads like rattles. He didn't care about the damage his body had just suffered. They quickly helped each other to stand up and apologize to Chen Ge repeatedly. No. Satisfied. We were wrong. Chen Ge, we were wrong. We know we were wrong. No, Chen Ge, please let us go. Chen Ge suddenly showed an embarrassed expression. Just let you go like this? Wouldn't that make me look easy to talk to? Then others will learn from you and provoke me from time to time. Wouldn't I be annoyed to death then? Come on, don't interrupt me again. Then I'll just waste my time beating you up every day. Can I still live a normal life? Jin Yao and the other two were stunned. How can you say that, but you beat us up every day? Can't we just beat you up? The three of them only dared to think about it in their hearts and definitely didn't dare to say it out loud. No. No way. We will never dare to trouble you again. Yes. Chen Ge, we can swear in front of you that if we come to trouble you again in the future, we will be dogs. Chen Ge, I, Jin Yao, swear that if I provoke you again in the future, I, Jin Yao, will not be a human being. Jin Yao swore while he was swearing. I also secretly swore in my heart. Sooner or later, I will find time to avenge the humiliation I suffered today. If I find the opportunity, I must cover Chen Ge's face with slime. Summoners have no future anyway. Even though Chen Ge's innate skills are very strong and he can summon a huge number of slimes. But Chen Ge was just an adopted orphan and had no money to support the resource consumption of upgrading his summoner profession. He is an assassin by profession, and his father, one of the directors of Tianhe No. 1 Middle School, provides him with training resources. It is only a matter of time before he surpasses Chen Ge. Who will care about today's oath then? But Chen Ge just shook his head slightly. His eyes were dim, as if he could see through Jin Yao's little thoughts. The three of them felt uneasy because of the gloomy gaze. Jin Yao couldn't stand it anymore and was anxious to get over what happened today. He continued quickly. Chen Ge. Tell me. What do you want us to do so you can let us go? Can't we just do it? But Chen Ge did not rush to answer. He glanced back and forth at the three of them for a while. Suddenly, Chen Ge seemed to have thought of something, and a playful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Your verbal assurances are just a defense, and I won't believe a single word of them. We need some substantial guarantees. Let's do this. I won't make it difficult for you, just change your clothes and I'll take some pictures. While talking, Chen Ge waved. Make all the surrounding slimes retreat a certain distance and form an area in the woods. It just happened to surround Jin Yao and the other two. Immediately following, Chen Ge waved again. Swish. Jin Yao and the other two only felt a flash before their eyes. Next second, 3 neatly arranged erotic suits were placed in front of the 3 people. Come on. The 3 of you change into these clothes and let me take some pictures, then I'll let you go. This thing is the feedback reward given by Soul's Destination. Chen Ge couldn't understand why he was such a serious person. The rewards for the soul's return are all Yang Jinyue's original panties, sexy suits, and other things. It's not my problem anyway. Maybe there's something wrong with the slime's soul. Right. That's it. It's a waste to just keep things like sex toys. Now is the perfect time for Jin Yao and his 3 good friends to make use of it. After Jin Yao and the other two saw clearly what Chen Ge took out, his face suddenly turned red. Chen Ge, you've gone too far. I won't wear it. You better continue to beat us. Impossible. I will never wear this kind of clothes and let you take a picture. Chen Ge, don't even think about it. Even if I die here today and your slime sits on me to death, I won't wear this kind of clothes for even a second. I won't even touch it. Among the 3, Jin Yao was the most excited. In the excitement, a big question mark involuntarily emerged in their minds. Etc. What decent person would carry this around? And haven't we just awakened to become professionals? Why can you take out 3 sex toy sets from your storage space? Do you always carry it with you? And exactly 3 sets, no more, no less. The corresponding 3 people. There are exactly 3 of us. And the 3 of us have often taken the initiative to block you over the past 3 years. Every time you press me to the ground, I have no power to resist. Oh shit. No. No way. Is this for us? This guy Chen Ge has probably been coveting us for a long time. We actually offered ourselves up to this, we are simply lambs walking into a tiger's mouth. The more they thought about it, the more horrified they looked. Yes, yes. During the 3 years of high school, Yang Jinyue had been pestering Chen Ge every day. Even a fool could see what Yang Jinyue was thinking about Chen Ge, but Chen Ge never confessed his feelings to Yang Jinyue. So why is this? Hiss. Could it be? Jin Yao and the other two were completely panicked. The expression on his face was countless times more terrified than when the slime just rode on his face. They even tried their best to adjust their prone position to a lying position, strictly guarding their rear. Chen Ge. Calm down. What are you doing? I'm telling you, this is wrong. Chen Ge, don't be impulsive. Don't. I'm not that kind of person. Chen Ge, you can't get me. You can't. I heard the 3 people's sudden panic gibberish. Chen Ge was slightly stunned. Then he understood what the 3 of them were thinking. Countless black lines suddenly appeared on his forehead. What the hell, what are these 3 idiots talking about? Aren't you such people? Is this the kind of person I am? Wouldn't it be nice if I could just find Yang Jinyue? Am I looking for you? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? Why are you so miserable? Chen Ji's face suddenly turned dark and he glared at the 3 of them fiercely. Shut the F***ck up. I'm not interested in you. Do as I say. If anyone says another word, I'll break all 3 of his legs. Chen Ge roared, and the group of slimes nearby also roared at Jin Yao and the other 2. The 3 of them were so frightened that they dared not say a word. Now. Change your clothes. I'll take your picture, and then I'll leave. The 3 of them confirmed again that Chen Ge really seemed to have no interest in them. Finally, he slowly picked up the 3 suits and began to change his clothes. There was the intimidation of Chen Ge wanting to break their 3 legs, so they would never wear it even if they were beaten to death, and they didn't dare to say it. But, I don't know what happened, when the 3 of them were wearing it. I always feel a little excited in my heart, I don't know why.